I now pass on the proceedings to Mr. Anurag Thonojum for the next part of our inaugural session, IAAP and the World, Conversation with Ms. Berg.
Ah, uh, Thank you so much for the introduction, Harshita. And it was great to hear Pilar ma'am introduce and inaugurate the first ever international conference that we have. And good day to everyone. Welcome to this special segment of IAAP and the world. Today, we have the privilege of speaking with a distinguished figure in the field of analytical psychology, Miss Berg, IAAP, DSAP. Ms. Berg is a senior Jungian analyst, internationally recognized for her contributions to the study and practice of depth psychology. As the past president of the International Association for Analytical Psychology from August 2022 to August 2025, she has graciously and efficaciously just finished her office tenure. She was also the president of Danish Society of Analytical Psychology, DSAP, from 2000 to 2005. She has been deeply involved in advancing Jungian thought across cultural and geographical boundaries. Also, yes, her work not only reflects a profound understanding of Jungian theory, but but also a passionate commitment to nurturing the next generation of analysts and fostering meaningful cross-cultural dialogues within the Jungian community. We are truly honored to have her with us today as we explore her journey, insights, and vision for the future of analytical psychology. Mr. Ma'am, you are most. Am I audible to everyone? I hope it's fine. Yes. Let us, ma'am, please. I would like to uh, hear from you. How has your experience been up until now, and your journey to with through the your own journey of analytical psychology. I would like to begin with this question: how did you become a Jungian analyst?
Thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation. Um, I did. I decided to become a Jungian analyst a little late, or maybe not so late, but at first I trained as to become an architect. So I was an architect. I graduated as an architect in 1973, and I was then 25 years old, and then I worked as an architect for 10 years. Then, I began to find it was not enough, or it wasn't the right way for me. So I started in analysis, in Jungian analysis. At that time, I didn't think about being an analyst. For actually, I was quite hesitant. I had dreams about I had dreams that I should be an analyst, and my analyst, who she was almost the same age as me, and she said, "What are these dreams?" And I said, don't think about it, because it's just transference to you. You are blonde and I'm blonde, and we have the same typology, and so and so. So don't think about it. It's only transference. So, and then I kept dreaming, and the dreams became more and more strong. And I kept on saying, no, 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 don't think about it. Don't. This is no, no, no. But I think after about I think 1.5 years or so, or maybe 2 years. Then I had a very, very strong dream, and then I said, yes, I want to become an analyst. Yes, for sure. And then I never regretted that at all. It was absolutely the right decision for me. But then I had to continue earning money, because I had to pay for the training. And at that time, I will talk a little bit more. Well, maybe I can tell about it here, because at that time, I come from Denmark, like Lisbeth Myers also comes from Denmark. And at that time in Denmark there was a Jung Institute, but the Jung Institute was not connected with the IAP. So we had to do something, because otherwise we would end in the grey market with no real future. So then we worked, we contacted the IP, and then we went to London. And both, it was most Lisbeth and I who organized these trips to London. We went eight students together. We went to London and did an additional training in London, because our training in Denmark, at first it wasn't recognized, but also it was very, very, very old-fashioned. Very old-fashioned. Because it hadn't really developed. It was a person who had trained with Jung in the 1950s. He came to Denmark. He had a lot of inspiration, and he gathered some people around him. But of course it was a little bit stuck. It didn't really develop. So I think Lisbeth can agree with me on that. So we went to London, and there we got something completely different, because they have focus on clinical aspects, on transference, countertransference, and so on. At that time, I didn't know of course we knew about transference because we knew from the Rosarium, but we didn't really know how to work with the transference and the countertransference, and so it was a big adventure to go there, but also a big task to go there. So, and then in 1992, I became an individual member. So did Lisbeth also of the IP, and so that is how. And then from then on, I had another. I continued to work as an architect actually for the next 10 years also. So I had parallel work as architect and an analyst for 10 years, and then it became too much. So then I quit architecture. So, but it didn't go. It went quite well together, also architecture and analysis, I must say. So that was that was my version of how I became a Jungian analyst. I wasn't from the start. I got it through a dream, or through many dreams.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I'm guessing it was a calling from the unconscious, larger sphere of
Yes,
our lives that brought you to the place that you are today here. Very interesting, ma'am.
sure.
So,
Thank
ma'am,
you.
you mentioned about training. You began training in London. So, um, what I wanted to know is so you mentioned that after you went for for your training in London, it was after that you joined IAAP. Am I right?
Yes,
Okay. So the training in London is different from what the router training IAAP provides. Am I right here in
yes,
saying
and
this?
sure. If I have to, this is long time ago, and
I
at
see.
that time, that time, there was no education committee, there was no router training, there was none of that at that time. Actually, we were kind of a developing group in
Ah,
Denmark, but we were not called that, because the developing groups, they were only invented much later.
I see.
So should I give a little bit overview of how the router training has developed in the
Yes,
IP?
ma'am.
Would you like
My
to hear
next
that?
question was going to be about that. So I wanted to know
Okay.
for all the audience who have joined in first time, what is this router
Yes.
training? Yes, and I would like you to
Yes.
throw some light over this.
Yes. Sure. So it started uh, primarily after after the Berlin Wall was fallen down. After the collapse of the Soviet Union. That was where it really started. I don't know. Actually, I don't know when it started in Latin America, Pilar. Maybe you don't know about that, because Ecuador was quite early. The router training, but I think it was after that also. I think it was also during the 1990s that things started in all. Before that, the IP was very, very much, if we look at the IP, how it was very, very much Western European and North American. It was almost only Western European and North American groups, and so then it started a little bit in I think it started in Brazil first, and then it came to, I think, Australia and then South Africa. But that was before the 1995. It was all Western European and North American, except for these three in the southern hemisphere. And but then the interest before that, in especially in Soviet Union, it had not been possible to it had been forbidden to train to read Jungian and to train Jungian. It wasn't, they were not allowed to do it. So and then when it collapsed, then suddenly a lot of people they opened up for this to train Jungian, and there was a big interest from various parts of these countries. One of the early ones was actually the present president-elect Grażyna Gudajte. She went to Chicago. She got a scholarship in Chicago I think in the mid 1990s. And then after that, she went to Zurich, and then she became an individual member in 2001. She was one of the first individual members. I think maybe the first one from the router training, I think, Grażyna Gudajte. But also in Russia, there was a very big interest, and it started in the late 1990s, and in 1998. The first developing group was founded in Moscow. The first developing group at all, because at that time it wasn't. It was a new invention to have a developing group. So, in 1998, the developing group was founded in Moscow, the first one, and then in 2001, a large number of developing groups were founded. One of them was in Estonia, where Lisbeth and I went together. Also Lithuania, and I think Czech, and I don't remember all the groups, but I think there were many new developing groups in 2001. And the router training had started to be formed. It took some time to start all the router training, to find out how to do it. At the beginning, it wasn't really an education. At the beginning, it was more groups to foster the interest in Jungian psychology. So it was more, we went there, Lisbeth and I, we went to Estonia, for instance. We helped them also to gave some seminars, and more open seminars and so, and it was only later on that they started their router training at that time. So that also meant that at the beginning it was quite a long process before the development from the developing group started, and then until they graduated. The members graduated, but then it has grown dramatically over the years, and I don't know exactly the numbers now, but at that point there were a lot of developing groups, and there were no societies yet, because everybody was in training. But the aim of having the router training is also to form a society afterwards. So as soon as there is enough trained analysts, it's expected that there is a society formed, and we hope also there will be a society in Delhi when you have enough analysts there. It takes 6 analysts to form a society and 10 analysts to form a society with training status.
Oh.
So, and the first society that got training status, I don't remember when that was, but I think it was in 2013. In 2013, that was Moscow. And then in 2016, I think it was Lithuania. So, and maybe also, I don't know, yeah. No, it came later on. It says now confirm my speaking language. I think I will say English. Okay. Um, so, and then society started to emerge
Mm-hmm.
from this, which means that we have now all over the world we have now societies. So the IP is no longer a Western European, North American dominated. Now it's dominated from all over the world.
Yes.
And that has been a great development. So yeah, I don't know if that's enough about this development. Yeah, it
Yes,
still goes on. Yeah, I would like to say that at this congress we just had here in Zurich, um, we accepted 13 new societies, which was really very many in the IP, and 10 of them came from developing groups. 10 of these 13, there were three others that there was one Italian, one Canadian, and one from California in USA. Beside that, but the other 10 all came from developing groups. So it has really meant a lot. This the development in the education committee and the router training has really had a significant influence on how the IP looks now.
I see. It's been, I think, router training has been very essential in making as well as formalizing the Jungian training all over the world. It has become a very essential um, phase that any aspiring Jungian analyst must go through. And it has, I think you have been part of that history of the development of this educational training. It's very interesting.